Is this the Dr. Ray?
What are you asking me?
Are all people mentally ill?
I have no idea.
Boy, you hit the nail right on the head there.
Now, why would I say something so dumb?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I don't remember what I said.
You're always contagious, by the way.
Am I really that awful?
I don't care. I'm not concerned with that stuff.
And I guess that's true, but doggone.
As usual, you're doing all the talking.
Well, are you better than God?
No way.
I'm going to give you some bad news. You got a problem.
I just wanted to call and get some wise advice, hopefully.
Now, from the studios of Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio, the hometown of Mother Angelica, here's Dr. Ray.
I got this question. Somebody sent it to me. Do you believe in birth trauma? I didn't. I know I had a course in grad school on how some therapists believe that being born is traumatic. You go from this kind of dark, watery, kind of easily cushioned existence. Some might say my existence here is pretty cushioned. And then you come out into the bright lights and noise and people and everything, and that's a trauma. And what's more, you bury that trauma somewhere deep in your psyche. Never believed in that, but then I started thinking about it. I started thinking there might be some truth to this. I know my own birth. It was so distressing for me that I did not utter a word for close to a year and a half, maybe more. Maybe more. So looking back on it, I'm gonna have to think more about this. This is Dr. Ray Guarendi program here. The doctor is in. Radio trauma? I hope not. Certainly like to hear from you. The program's call-in show. You are the callers. I am the callee receiving the calls. I'm a psychologist. I spend time at the office during the week. Sometimes people will e-person me. Say, do you still see people? Yeah, sure do. I even see them as clients. See a lot of people. They're all over the place, but as clients too. All that said, here on the radio, we educate, give thoughts and ideas. Don't do any therapy. Don't do any diagnosis. Don't ever speak about someone in therapy with a therapist already professionally. But take your questions, ponder some options, things that you could consider, maybe some pros and cons, some generics. Specific questions are most common, but we do get general questions about cultural issues, faith intersecting with psychology, something you don't understand about the mental health field, all of that. What do you do about certain people in your life? Do you roll with them? Do you confront them? Do you just keep your head down? All of that. So the number to call, and I would definitely very much like to hear from you, 877-573-7825, 877-57-EQUAL. That's the easiest way. One very, very nice announcement here. I wanted to say hi to these great folks there at, let me see where I got my details here, Divine Mercy Broadcasting, 7 stations serving Washington State, way out there. They're on the air for 13 years. Way to go, guys. Joe Haberman, Michael Drollman, all the folks there making Divine Mercy work. Congratulations on this anniversary. That's very, very neat. Very cool, very cool. I will get to your calls. We got some calls coming in, and just want to let you know that I'm looking forward to talking to you. Can you look forward to talking to someone? Well, how would I do that? I'm anticipating talking to you. That might be a better way to put it. Okay. Now let's see what else we got here in terms of just information that I got to take care of. Heading out again to Atlanta. And the neat thing about all of that is that the folks there at the Quest in Atlanta, what a great, great station. We're going to bring the TV show to Atlanta on August 18th and 19th. There will be 2 shows each night, 5:30 and 7:15. We will be taping these shows at, and I want to get all my details specifically here, right at Holy Spirit Catholic Church, before a live audience. You are the live audience if you're there. If you're not there, you're not the live audience. But if you would like to come, we would absolutely love to have you. The audience is an integral part of the program. The audience basically says the questions. They do the applause when they're supposed to. Sometimes they don't. Anybody who doesn't applause, we remove them. That said, also, what else can I tell you? You can sign up for 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the shows. Some people, I'm kind of shocked. Sometimes people will come for all 4, which is really very, very nice. I couldn't even get my wife to come for half of one. So that's kind of cool. I'm teasing. She came for half. Also, we'll feed you in between. And you can bring the kids. So if it's one of these things where I'd like to go, but we got these little kids, bring them. Bring them. The youngest we've had was, I think, a month, and the oldest was 103. So we got a pretty good age span there. Go to thequestatlanta.com, and Living Right with Dr. Ray banner's right there. It says register. Big red thing says register. And you can do that. It's very simple. Are you easygoing? Now, that's a pretty broad personality trait. Let me put some specifics on it. Are you easygoing on a daily basis? By that I mean, let's say that you're going to get together with some friends, and you know where you would like to go to eat, but it's not where they would like to go to eat. Would you say, hey, you call it, you pick the place? Let's say that you and your wife are having movie night, and she wants to watch a movie about orphan puppies that walk their way through the city block and meet up with some of the homeless people, and it's a heart-filled touching. You want to watch Terminator 5. Okay, what do? You say, honey, you call it. Your dad doesn't really drive anymore, and when someone drives him, say like your wife or your husband, he wants to ride shotgun. You're really not comfortable in the back seat. So what do? You say, hey, Dad, come on. I really don't like the back seat. Let's do this. You can have it this time, and then next time around, I get it. Or do you just simply say, Dad, take the front seat? There are unlimited times in every relationship, even the brief ones, where you can be easygoing. Things like, well, what do you want to do? You make the decision. Your call. Easy going. Am I going to be taken advantage of? You're not going to be taken advantage of because you're acknowledging and allowing it. You're not taken advantage of. You're not taking advantage of if you're willingly saying that's okay with me. I've actually had friends, believe it or not, who we had planned to go out. We had planned to get together. And they didn't want to go if we didn't go to a certain place. Now, I've long since given up anybody wanting to go where I want to go. Golden Corral, the buffets, the trough eating. Nobody wants to go there. One of the reasons I married my wife. It's the only girl I ever dated that would go to the Golden Corral. However, that said, I was shocked. It's like, no, we don't want to go there. And I got the impression that if I would have said, well, gee, I'd really like to go there, let's go there, they wouldn't have gone. Are you easygoing on a day-to-day, every little decision basis? People like that. Just float with it. I get a lot of calls for interviews. And they'll say, what do you want to talk about? You know what I say? You guys call it. Pick what you want. Well, aren't you afraid we're going to ask you questions? I said, well, hey, look, I'm used to looking dumb. I don't have any problems with that. Not my age. What do I care? You guys ask the questions you want to ask. Or if they'll say, what about the interview time? I go, well, here's what I've got. You pick the dates. Sure. Are you easygoing about that? Heck, I know some speakers who will not allow the group to tape their presentation because their view is, well, no, that's my product. That's mine. I don't want you to use it because then that might cut into whatever sales I can get out of it. And I'm thinking, hey, if our main goal is to spread our Lord's word and teachings, then whomever copies it, good for them. Go for it. Easy going is a quality that in our culture of so many opportunities and so many preferences, it gets harder to do. Little tiny decisions every day, especially in a marriage. Tiny, tiny little things. Your wife says, what do you want to eat tonight? I don't know. What's easiest for you to make? Little stuff. It's very winsome. So I get back to my original question. Are you easy going? All right. Dr. Ray, looking forward, anticipating talking with you.
Underwritten in part by the following nonprofit.
Do you feel as though life is flying past you? Are you desperate for a way to find moments of peace and quiet? Lord, Teach Me to Pray, the free Ignatian prayer series, will open your heart to His voice, to the peace you are seeking and the only love that fulfills the human heart, Jesus. God is calling you to true joy, knowing Jesus personally. Lord, Teach Me to Pray is free. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com, click on the red box, order the Lord Teach Me to Pray series now. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com.
Ave Maria in the Afternoon is underwritten by the following nonprofit organization: Real Estate for Life. Buying or selling your home or business property? Real Estate for Life can connect you with one of 1,400 pro-life real estate agents around the world. When Real Estate for Life receives a referral fee, they donate 70% to Ave Maria Radio and Human Life International. More information at realestateforlife.org or 877-LIFE-US1. That's realestateforlife.org.
This week on Christ is the Answer, Father John talks about surrender and greed. After hosting a very successful Alpha series at his parish at the time, many of the attendees were excited and hungry to learn even more about God. Out of that longing for the Lord, the Next Necessary Step series was formed. Don't miss out this week as Father John teaches on what it means to fully surrender to God, as well as showing the weight that greed puts on the human heart. Tune in for Christ is the Answer, Monday through Fridays at 11 a.m. on Ave Maria Radio.
Hi, this is Vanessa Denha-Garmo. Sylvan Learning offers personalized one-on-one academic coaching online from home, designed around your child's unique needs and schedule. Strong academic skills today can help create opportunities tomorrow. Higher grades and stronger test scores can open the door to scholarships, top universities, and a brighter future. Visit mysylvancoach.com to learn more about one-on-one coaching online from home. That's mysylvancoach.com.
I ask your patience as I go to your calls. Mike from Maryland. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Dr. Ray. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
It is a pleasure to listen to you.
Okay, great.
What's up?
Well, I'll try to give you the Reader's Digest version as best I can. So I'm calling about my 19-year-old nephew. He graduated from high school last year. It was kind of a small private school, not a Catholic school. And he seemed to me to be, there were some issues, but overall, I'd say a reasonably well-adjusted teenager. He was set to go to college at a college that's about 300 miles from his house. And he backed out at the last minute, didn't want to go. And I don't completely, I somewhat understand that, but his parents just basically allowed him to do nothing. He has no job. He's never had a job, even a part-time job while he was in high school. He's never contributed to doing any of the chores around the house. He hasn't gone to, there's a local community college. It's a few miles away from where they live. He doesn't go to that. And that always kind of struck me kind of strange to let him get away with that. I originally thought it was just a simple fact of being a little on the lazy side. But recently, over the last few months, he's developed some, what I would describe as kind of strange antisocial behavior. He doesn't want to participate in any of the family get-togethers. And last week, it was his birthday celebration, and he wouldn't even come down from out of his room to take part in that. And so I guess the reason why I'm calling is I'd like to just get your general thoughts about that, and then maybe see if there's certain questions that you would ask to try to get to the bottom of what's going on there. And I've also heard you say that he has been in counseling before, but his counselor actually quit because he wouldn't do what his counselor said to do.
Well, my guess would be his parents pushed him into counseling against his will.
Yeah, but maybe I think what you've said is the better approach might be to get some counseling for the parents.
They don't want it.
They don't want it?
No. Have they asked you, hey, Mike, what do you think we can do here? We're really frustrated with this kid. You got any suggestions? Did they do that?
They definitely haven't done that, but they recognize it's a problem.
Well, it's only going to get worse. What you're seeing, you're seeing more and more of a kind of social retreat. In other words, I've never really consistently been made to do anything I don't want to do. And as things more and more become intolerant for me, which is, what? I got to come down for my birthday with you people? Ew. That's no surprise to me at all. I mean, that's just the trajectory. If he is as spoiled as you say he is, that's just the trajectory of it, Mike.
Yeah.
I would wonder, just as a microcosmic question here, when he didn't even come down for his birthday, what did his parents do?
Well, they talked about how frustrated they were with him. We had a little bit, probably for the first time, a little bit of family conversation about it, and they recognized that it's unhealthy behavior, but actually do something.
Mike, from what you're saying, they didn't do anything for 19 years.
Yeah.
See, this is not uncommon. The parents have a hand in creating this sort of individual, and then they get frustrated with the individual. Why is he like this? Why does he have to be this way? Well, you made him this way. And as he gets older, and the trajectory, as I said, is more likely downhill, gaining momentum, you're gonna watch some real, I think, trouble spots in that family. Yeah. You're gonna watch some stuff. You're gonna watch stuff that maybe he'll steal from them. Maybe there'll be a physical altercation. Maybe he'll take their car without permission, if he hasn't already done that stuff. And given all that, they're going to just throw up their hands and say, we can't handle him. We can't deal with it. You know, with minimal recognition that they spent all these years just allowing him, as you report here, getting away with all kinds of stuff. So I think they're embarrassed by him, very embarrassed by him, frustrated with him. But the only way you can intervene is the next time they tell you how frustrated you are, ask them this. How do you think it's got to this point? Yeah. Get some insight into their looking at themselves, their role in all this. And then you might say, well, what do you want to do going forward? In other words, you're not going to tell him what to do. You're going to say, what do you want to do? Well, we don't know what to do. He's just uncooperative. If he stays uncooperative, what do you want to do? Put it back on him? Make them realize they're going to probably have to make some decisions. Now, I'll tell you the bad news, Mike. My experience is, first of all, there's a boatload of kids like this now in this culture. My experience is it's going to have to get really, really, really ugly before they finally do something. It ain't ugly enough yet.
Okay. Just to throw something out, I mean, one thought that I had about that is like they still like pay for this kid's cell phone bill.
Yeah, I know. No surprise there.
I mean, it seems like maybe even a simple nudge might even get him moving in the right direction.
Well, the problem is, here's the thing, Mike. Here's your problem. They either don't want to or they're afraid to.
Yeah.
The fact that they haven't, like you said, done the simplest of nudge tells you there's something paralyzing them.
Yeah.
Maybe they have marital disagreements. Maybe they're afraid of what he'll do. Maybe they're afraid he'll hate them. Maybe they're afraid that, oh my, he's so emotionally fragile now that if we do this, he'll totally unravel. There's something in there keeping them from doing what they could do at this late date.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to probe. If they let you, I think they will because they're going to get more frustrated. If they let you, you're going to ask them. You're going to say, so why does he still have his smartphone? Well, I mean, that's how he communicates, and we're hoping that he uses that to find a job. Okay. What if he doesn't? Well, we want to try to give him some time. You're going to see, Mike, and you're going to get a real clear picture whether you just say to yourself, well, too late for me to do anything now.
Yeah.
There you are, my friend.
All right. Well,
all right.
I do appreciate your insights, and we'll hope and pray for the best, I guess.
There you go. Military strategy. Hope for the best, plan for the worst.
All right.
All right,
Thank
my
you,
friend.
Dr. Ray.
Take care. I'll see you. Looks like, is that Micah or Michael that we just didn't type the rest of that? Micah from Missouri. He did email me, and I have to tell you, Micah, you are, I say 1 in 10. If I say somebody emails me and I say, can you call the program? Because I can ask some questions. I say 1 in 10 maybe calls, but you did. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for taking my call, Dr. Ray.
If I remember, you got 3 kids, right?
Correct.
Okay. And they're little. They're young.
Yeah, they're young. And, I'm kind of waiting for, everybody says, oh, you're busy when they're real little, when they're infants, and then it gets easier and you have more time. And it seems to be going the other direction. So I'm just.
It does go the other direction. Caretaking when they're little. Well, when they're little, it's caretaking. When they're older, it's much more active parenting,
right?
If you will,
right.
But I remember your frustration was, I can't juggle everything.
It just seems to be difficult, and I know I'm not handling it real well. I get frustrated if we're wasting time on this or that, and I'm always darting around to and fro, and I don't want to do that, but I'm just kind of looking for some perhaps methods to cope or things I can do better.
Did you ever hear that the phrase, the good is the enemy of the best?
Yes.
You may be just thinking, I got to do it all perfect.
Yeah.
One time I said to my wife, we're going to get cut off by the break. I'll take you around the other side. I said to my wife, this is back when we had the 6 kids, before we got to 10, we had 6 kids under 6. And I said, honey, I do not, given my schedule, given everything, I do not have the time to play with each kid like I would like to. And my wife said, Raymond, that's why they have brothers and sisters.
Okay.
She was basically telling me, you can't do it all at the level you want to do it. Stay there. Don't go away. I'll be back. I shouldn't have to say I'll be back because I'll be back. 877-57 equal. Time goes fast. Tempus fugit. That's Latin. Time flies. Dr. Ray Guarendi here. Program Doctor is in. Talking to Micah from Missouri. He's a young father of 3. He emailed me, and it's express some frustration, trying to juggle it all, trying to stay in shape, trying to exercise, trying to find a little personal time, trying to have some prayer time, trying to spend time with his wife, spend time with the kids, trying to work. Oh, and he's like, how do you do it all? Still there, Micah?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. The first thing you do is you don't pressure yourself to do it all perfectly. You get to what you can get to. You're going to prioritize. For example, I never gave up exercising and lifting weights. Why? Because I had to function at peak efficiency. That's not selfish. That's recognizing that me, the organism that does all these things, has to do it at peak. That's one. Two, you may have to look and say, that's not that important and I'll get to it later. You got to get better at prioritizing. You might say to yourself, man, I got to straighten out that garage. It's just, it's weighing on me. Okay. But what's more urgent? And you'll get to the garage when you have a chance. You break it up also. One of the things that I do a lot of is people say, how do you write so many books? I'll say, well, I kind of write them in the cracks. In other words, if I have an opening here or there, I'll sit down and I'll work on my book. Or I will alternating work on my book with a household chore. And I recognize I'm not going to get to everything. I think you're putting pressure on yourself to get to everything. And you can't. And the other thing you're probably doing is you're probably thinking, I'm shortchanging my kids and it's going to have ill effects. Are you thinking that?
Sometimes, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's what's doing it to you. You're not ruining your kids, Micah. I mean, you got to look at yourself and say, hey, I'm trying to be a good dad. It used to be, and I'm not saying this is good. I'm just saying the way it used to be. The guys provided. We had to work. We had to bring in money, support. We had to do these things. And we knew that was a big part of our role in keeping the family running. We knew that. Okay, that's great. If you're doing that, then recognize that you have a certain percentage of time left over. And you got to pick and choose on any given day or any given week what gets your attention. You may decide it's more important to put one of the kids to bed, say prayers with them, than to do your Bible reading. You may just decide that. You say, I can't get to my Bible reading. Why? Because I just put 2 kids to bed. What you're doing is you're feeling like you are shortchanging your family and you're not living up to your peak good fatherhood if you don't do all these things sufficiently and satisfactorily. I think that's what you're doing to yourself. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think that's right.
So, again, to reiterate, you prioritize. You make sure you function well. You don't give up on your exercising. You don't give up on your lifting. You don't give up even on your recreation. Okay, I played a lot of softball when the kids were little. And that was just part of me. And I realized if I'm going to do that, then I got to make sure that I do some other things like help my wife wherever I can, whenever I can, because I played softball last night. So given all that, you pick and choose. And you don't say to yourself, I'm just falling short. I'm just falling short. Because you start thinking like this, Mike, and you're not going to have another kid. You're going to say, I'm not a good dad to the 3 that I have. Why would I shortchange 2 more? I had 10 kids under 12. You think that I could spend the individual amount of time with them that I wanted? Not even close.
I can't imagine.
Close. Do you think we could go to all the activities that the average American family goes to? Not at all. There were times when some kids just didn't get to do anything because it was their brother's turn to have Little League. That's the way it was. And I think they're better for it, actually, to tell you the truth. Put them to bed earlier, too. That's the other thing. You can see you whenever you say I'm frustrated because I'm not getting it all done. Sometimes when I talk to parents, I find out, the kids are running things here. That mom and dad can't get these kids to bed before 10 o'clock because of the resistance. Wait a minute. You're going to be better able to do these things if you have a quiet time at night and they're in bed by 8 o'clock. Don't tell me I'm touching on that, am I?
We do pretty good with that. 8 o'clock is probably about average. But
okay, well then you're okay then.
Sometimes it does get late. So,
well, if it gets late because of you guys, that's one thing. But if it gets late because of them, then you're losing an awful lot of this other negotiable time that you had because the kids are resisting, and that's something you got to take charge of.
Right. No, they cooperate with us fairly well for that, I would say.
Okay.
We've
well, then you go to bed at 8 o'clock then.
Yeah,
you go to bed at 8 o'clock. That's what I said. Said, bye, honey, I'm going to bed. Ray, the kids aren't in bed yet. I know, but they'll get there eventually. When they collapse on the floor, bring them up to bed. No. So just don't beat yourself up over this, Mike. If you do, you're not going to have any more kids.
Okay.
All right. Take care, my friend.
Thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate your time.
Sure. All right, and I got some calls up there. I want to take you. You know who you are. If I take a call now, I'm going to bump up against the break. So rather than doing that, I'll talk now. As opposed to going to another break. I know with Guadalupe Radio, particularly out of Dallas, we're going to be starting a 7-week parenting course. And they'll have all the information very shortly on their website on how to sign up. I'm doing it. 7 weeks, get a chance for the deep dive into parenthood. All kinds of stuff to help you stand strong against a culture no longer on your side, to help you have the kind of quiet, calm, disciplined authority that you want to have, to help you realize you're the parent, not Dr. Yule Feelgood, and not your mother-in-law. You're the parent. All this stuff is coming up. We don't have the sign-up date or time yet. It's coming. Dave Palmer told me very shortly here it's coming. It'll be a 7-week course starting in September. I'm kind of looking forward to it because I actually get to talk with some depth about a lot of the stuff. It's, typically when somebody comes in for parent counseling, they don't go 7 weeks. They go 2 or 3. So this will be 7 weeks. It's kind of neat. I'm looking forward to it, actually. So I do know it's going to be on Monday night. I know that. And it's going to be 6 o'clock Central. So let's see, 7 o'clock Eastern, which is I am. And the class will be over by 8, which is very, very close to my bedtime. 877-57-EQUAL. That's the number to get onto the air. I will get to your calls. That is a commitment. Thank you for joining me here on The Doctor Is In, Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, co-production of EWTN, Global Catholic Radio Network, and Ave Maria Radio Communications. Let's see. All right, let's go to Shireen here from Springfield, Illinois. Hey, Shireen, how are you?
Well, I'm okay, except that what I want to talk to you about right now, they're attacking me. I started out one fall day. I was walking from my bathroom area into my living room down this hall, and I heard a voice say, "Are you having a good day?" And I stopped because I thought, "Oh my God, someone's in my apartment," and I knew there wasn't. And after I stood there for a while, I took another step, and I heard, "Why don't you go look out the window. Why don't you go look out the window and see what kind of day it is, you know? And I took 1 or 2 steps, and it said, why don't you walk through the window? And I live on the 3rd floor. And before this happened, I've fallen about 5 times and hit my head. And that's why I'm beginning to think my start, if what they say is true, started this. I went to the church because I thought, well, there are demons in my apartment. I mean, I never had I lived here for almost 12 years now. And so anyway, I've had 4 priests over here, and they have blessed my home, gone through it with holy water and blessed salt and everything. And they're still here. And they said normally what they do before they do anything like that is to have you go to a psychiatrist to see if it's something psychiatric. Well, I tried everything. I've tried all the prayers. I've had all kinds of suggestions, and nothing. They don't. It's still going on. And
when did you first hear the words? When did you first hear these voices in your head, Shireen? When?
Well,
how long ago?
I don't know. I guess they're in my head. I thought they were outside. It sounded like they're outside my body.
When did they start?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. And how old are you?
75.
75. So you heard it when you were 71. And prior to that, you never heard them, correct?
Nothing.
Okay.
Except for hearing these voices and I am being physically tortured right now. It feels like they're trying to pull my muscles. I had that big leg muscle. It's on the inside that goes up to your crotch. I actually had it for
sartorius.
About a month. It hurt really badly, and I woke up this morning and I keep testing it because I see a chiropractor and he's worked on he's helped me some with what he thought he could do.
Have you been to a psychiatrist?
Yes.
And the psychiatrist prescribed any medication?
He prescribed aripiprazole.
Did you take it?
Work. It made it worse. Actually, they were coming at me more.
Did you tell this to the psychiatrist?
Pardon?
Did you tell that to the psychiatrist?
Yes.
And? What happened?
He wanted to prescribe some more medicine, and I'm scared to death of it because of the way the aripiprazole worked out.
Okay, so you didn't, after that ill effect of that meds, you didn't want any more meds?
No, because it got worse. The voices were worse, and the attacks were worse.
Well, there's two things here, and the church would be very clear about this. The vast majority of demonic oppression is let me rephrase that. Demonic oppression is much, much less common than psychiatric disorders. They have to rule out a psychiatric disorder first. Church is very clear about that, and they've been very clear about that throughout their history. Even back when we thought, oh, no, we don't know anything about mental illness. If you go back and you read some of the church's exorcism teachings, you will find that they routinely emphasized heavily ruling out that this isn't something within one's own mind. So that said, there's a couple things here. It's highly likely, and I can't say it from here, but it's highly likely you are not being besieged by evil spirits, that these voices are coming from your head inside because of a malfunction. If that's true, then there is medication that would take them away. That's the first thing. Second thing is, you've had a number of priests there. They have intervened. They have said prayers. They have blessed your home. They have used holy water. They've done a whole bunch of stuff that if there would be any kind of demonic presence, you can assume, or at least hope, it's not there anymore. All right, so that's 2. 3, the fact that you've never had this up until 4 years ago it could be something related to aging. You don't have a history of mental illness. You didn't say the first time I was diagnosed, I was 21 years old. You didn't say that. You said up until age 71, none of this had ever happened.
Right.
Okay. So it could be something related to where you are right now in life and at your age. If, in fact, you're saying, well, I don't know if it's demonic and I don't know if it's my brain, but these things torture me. The one thing you can do, I think both ways you can actually do it. You can ignore them.
I've tried that.
Well, by ignoring it, I mean you. It's not that you push them out of your head, because they're going to be there if it's in your head. You don't give them any credence. If they say go over to the window, you don't go over to the window. If they say I need you to go wash your face, you don't go wash your face. You say to yourself, these are just voices in my head. They're not real. But I heavily recommend you go back to the psychiatrist and you tell him, him or her, the first meds in your... I'm sorry?
I didn't hear the last word, something.
Okay. You go back to the psychiatrist. You tell him or her, first med didn't help at all. What else can we try? And if in fact, here you're doing a little experiment, Shireen. If in fact the voices go away, then you will have your answer. That this is just something that indeed, my daughter is 30 years old. She's had voices off and on for approximately the last, probably 13, 14 years. When we recently visited her, she told us, she said, yeah, they're still there, but I don't listen to them anymore. And I said, Mary, that's a very healthy way to look at it. Okay. Give your psychiatrist another chance, Shireen, because if this stuff is in your head, we got a pretty good chance of knocking it out, and you can be at peace, my dear.
Okay.
This is Dr. Ray.
Falls could have done that?
I don't know. I can't know that. My guess would be probably not, unless you really banged yourself up real bad, and then you probably would have had some other symptoms of a concussion. This is Dr. Ray. I'll be right back.
Join Guest House for their 6th annual Run Over Addiction 5K and the 1 Mile Fun Run Saturday, August 1st at the Scripps Mansion in Lake Orion. Virtual 5K runners can also join from anywhere in the world. Your participation helps ensure that the ordained and consecrated, including those in formation, can access care for addictions and other behavioral health conditions. To run or to sponsor, click the Events tab at guesthouse.org today.
Every woman deserves specialized health care. At Arbor Women Health, our team of compassionate professionals listen to our patients and want to understand what they're going through. They serve everyone from teen girls to seniors. Our faith-based clinicians specialize in obstetrics, gynecology, fertility awareness in crisis, or unexpected pregnancies. Call 734-930-4020 or visit arborwomenhealth.org. Arbor Women, faith-inspired, dignity-affirming healthcare.
Marcus Peter hosts Unveiling the Covenants.
What is a covenant? It's a vowed exchange of lives which results in an unbreakable family bond. Throughout Scripture, God seeks to espouse all mankind to himself in an unbreakable covenant bond. His covenantal love is a free gift, but it necessitates a response from us. We are free to accept or reject it. Let's learn what this means as we unveil the covenants.
Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. on Ave Maria Radio.
Brought to you by the nonprofit Seton Home Study.
Hi, everybody. Dr. Ray Guarendi here. You want to pass the Catholic faith on to your children? A very good way is to teach your children at home. You want to protect your kids from the toxic culture that surrounds us? Do you want to have a greater influence than what your kids are learning? Once more, a great way is to teach your children at home. No teacher is going to care about your kids as much as you do. Seton Home Study School is the best way to teach your children at home. Go to SeatonHome.org. SeatonHome.org. Got time for one more call. Let's go to Steve from Florida, who has waited so very, very patiently. Hi, Steve.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ray. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
So I've been married to my wife for over 30 years, and she was diagnosed with bipolar manic depression over 20 years ago after the third time she attempted suicide.
Oh,
and
my.
what's happened since then is she changes her doctors, and she doesn't tell them her history, and then they say that she's not bipolar, and they start giving her different medications, and then we're now in our seventh divorce process right now.
Does she back out every time?
Yeah. It takes a few days, takes a few weeks. Last time it took about 4 months. And it's just devastating for our family. It's devastating for me and my career, our savings. I've lost 2 homes in foreclosure. I've had to file bankruptcy. I've lost all my savings in retirement. And
Your kids are grown?
My youngest is 17. This time she took him, pulled him out of school where he's academic excellence and athlete in 4 different sports, and she took him and filed for divorce. So this time I got an attorney, and I'm a faithful attorney, and he's counter filing, and this time I'm going to present everything to the court. In the past I haven't done that. I wanted to honor my commitment to my marriage and my wife. But, I think it's time for the court to know the truth about her mental health history this go around.
I think the church would teach that in a situation like this, when you're seriously threatened, as you said, your history of financial well-being has been crushed, that there could be a case for what they would call separation of bed and board, which means for your own safety, and doesn't mean necessarily physical safety, but it could mean financial safety or just serious inability to deal with her illness, that you would separate. You wouldn't be divorced. You'd still be married in the eyes of the church, but you would be away from the situation.
Well, she's filed for divorce.
Okay.
It's not my choice.
Well, you said she's done that 7 other times.
Yeah, this is the 7th time now.
Okay, so what makes you think this one is more serious than the others?
I don't know. It's just the sense that I have. She's got the support of her family. Her family and my children do not know the extent of her mental health history.
You say your children don't?
No, they don't. They don't know how bad it was. They were children at the time.
But they've lived with her.
Yeah, but I'm saying they don't know the extent of the care that she received in patient. And quite honestly, it's almost like I was blamed for it. It's like, hey, you took her to the hospital. You didn't have to take her to the hospital. They don't understand how bad it was. She actually admitted herself.
They weren't aware of the suicidal ideation?
No.
Huh. Do they blame you? Are they blaming you?
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. One of the hospitalizations, I went to go meet with the staff when they were doing her discharge planning. This was 3 weeks after her suicide attempt. And they said, well, we think she's just in a bad marriage. If she can get out of the marriage, she won't be suicidal. I can't believe that they actually said that to me.
Well, they just swallowed whole what she was telling them.
Right. Well,
and that's
a week later, she called me to reconcile. So, because each time what I do is I take a step back, I give her all the space that she needs, and I pray for her every day, and I truly believe that the Holy Spirit moved in her, and this is it's like wash, rinse, repeat.
Steve, you can't drive yourself crazy expecting long-term, reasonable, rational behavior. If, in fact, the bipolar diagnosis is accurate, and if in fact she goes through these manic spells where she's actually seriously disturbed in her thinking, then you're not going to be able to expect her to be predictable, to be reasonable, to be reachable. And you're just going to have to weather or float through those spells and do everything you can not to antagonize, make it worse. I would think, at least at this point with the kids being older, that they would start to get a clearer picture of what's going on, and little by little they would probably not blame their dad as much as they have been. I can't give you too much perspective from here because I really don't know your wife's symptomatology and all that. But it sounds like you're persevering heroically, at least at this point. And given her track record, even through the divorce, she may decide, I don't want to be divorced anymore. Thank you for joining me here. This is Dr. Ray. Good Lord permitting, I'll see you tomorrow.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. The Doctor Is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.